It's your boy, GM, going for a walk. No real prediction, just trying to keep to my walk every day resolution. Go outside, enjoy this perfectly amazing weather for the moment, at least until the algae bunnies jump me, and spread a little comedy and kindness and positivity. Thus, the topic for today's walk: positive D&D clickbait. So, yesterday, as I was browsing the interweb, as I often do before I go to sleep, I stumbled across several YouTubers, Roll for Initiative being one of the ones you're probably most familiar with, talking about how they're retiring their channels, putting their channels on hold, or taking their channels in a different direction. And the one that was the most interesting was how the couple of for Initiative talked about why they're retiring their channel, putting it on hold, and their future plans. And basically, they said, we've got a kid, we've got careers, we don't really play anymore. We could just go back and repeat the same stuff over and over again that we've already said, but we would rather just, put it on hold and do something else for a while. We can't really comment on gaming. And that's very noble of them. And they are taking the high road because, they feel they've said everything they need to say, and they don't need to repeat the same thing over and over again. Hop, skip, and a jump to our favorite conspiracy, the death of dungeon tubing. Shout out to Roll for Initiative, link down below. Why are the tubes dying? And all you have to do is just take a casual glance at some of the major channels, Bob Will Builder, Jeannie D, Professor Dungeon Master, Dungeon and Discourse, the queen of clickbait, Lost Legends, what's his name? I Hate Ryan David, and they all are basically regurgitating the same topic. I mean, at least Professor Dungeon Master, varies it up occasionally, but mostly they've all fallen into the same trap, a trap that I haven't fallen into, and for better or worse, mostly because I was too lazy and didn't know how to do half of the stuff and didn't think my computer could handle anything more difficult than what I'm doing now. But if you notice, basically the negative comment for the day or the week is pretty much shared. They all kind of pick the topic of the week and bemoan their fate. They all use the same layout, the same font. They've all fallen into the rut of using that AI style, sort of the grainy orange on orange AI style. Hello, dog trapped in a cage. Oh, buddy, you shouldn't be in your cage, but I hope nobody takes you. That's just dumb. It's just dumb on so many levels. It's called the Cal Arts AI style. A lot of them use the top down. A lot of them use the intermakes clips from whatever with the topic, and find ways to sort of make the clips run coherent with whatever they're talking about. I'm talking about chainmail, so here's a picture from some movie of a guy in chainmail. I don't know how that works, sidebar, because the few times I have tried to incorporate stuff from other products underneath the 15-second limit, I've gotten dinged. But they never get dinged, and they plenty of times go over the 15-second limit. So I don't know what the secret is. Don't ask me. But it's part and parcel of the box they've fallen into. They've all fallen into this box. And they're all saying about the exact same time, oh no, my channel's dying. My last video, this is a quote. I'm not saying from who, but this is a quote. My last video only got 60K views. Excuse me, what? You're complaining because your last video only got 60 views? You made how much money? off of that video as opposed to the same topic that you talked about a year ago. And that's it. You're talking about the same topics over and over again. We've never gone down that street. Let's do that street. Another part of my walking is to try and explore my neighborhood more. You know, I've lived here at Site B for a couple of years now, and I still don't know a lot about it. Where, you know, Site A, I wandered around all the time. It was a great neighborhood to walk around in. Site B, I've kind of just not left home. So it's time to explore Fresno, Nevada, which looks surprisingly like Ventura County. So they're all bemoaning their fate. Backwards to roll initiative talking about while they're, you know, we could just say the same thing we've already said, but we'd rather not. Meanwhile, if you look at, you know, posts from these people today and you peel back like a year, same post. Literally the same post. Something Critical Role, something Games Workshop, something Wizards of the Coast, something Dungeon Tubing, something Orcs Are Racist, blah, blah, blah. If you remember last year, my main thing was there's no new topics. Well, this year, my main thing is going to be taking your negativity and twisting it, putting it on its head. The goal of our hobby, the goal of the tabletop role-playing community should not be doom and gloom, should not be scandal, should not be, oh no, my last video only got 60K views. Fuck you. Most of us are lucky if we get 10 views. You got 60K views at 0.002 cents a view or whatever it works out for the, you know, branding. That's still more money you made on one video that I made all week, so stop whining. Oh no, my channel's dead because I've said the exact same thing 20 times. Maybe you should say something new. Maybe you should say something positive. Maybe you should build up the hobby instead of tearing down the hobby. Maybe you should just say, look, we all agree most of us don't like what Wizards of the Coast is doing, but fuck it, there's nothing we can do about it. We're only going to talk about it when it's funny or impactful. So this is a Elmhurst School. I think I subbed here once. Oh no, they're selling sea candy. Hello, Elmhurst School. I thought this was in YMCA, but no, it's in school. You don't care. Right. So I'm going to take these doom and gloom clickbait YouTube posts, these people who are complaining about they only got 60K views. Oh no, my channel is dying. And I'm gonna hold the flashlight up to them. I'm gonna say, you know what? I don't know if you remember this, but the point of the tabletop role-playing game community is to have fun. Your job as a dungeon tuber is to educate people about different aspects of the hobby, spread good things about the hobby, share your insight into how traps or whatever works, but mainly be a voice in the wilderness that says, hey, doesn't matter if you're 4, 14, 24, 40, or 400, it's still okay to play this silly game, right? Maybe we don't have as much time as we did with the kids. Maybe the corporate slop has taken over the direction of the game. Maybe this, maybe that, blah, 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 blah. I've been whining about this shit for 10 years. I haven't changed anything, and it really hasn't helped my site. It's only when I do these walk and talks or try and be positive that things matter. And it's important to be positive with the shape of the world and the shape of the hobby, because none of us know what's going to happen tomorrow, much less a year from now in real life, much less the hobby. So it's not your job, Bob Wilder, Builder, Genie D, Dungeon Discourse, whoever else, to get 60Ks. It's not your job to spread false doom and gloom. By the way, I've pretty much disproven almost every one of these clickbait doom and glooms on more than one occasion. I follow Warhammer Meatball. Yeah, that's actually Warhammer. That's today's controversy. I'm beating it to the point. There's going to be a couple videos coming out this week about the D&D Games Workshop controversy and why Hasbro is failing and Games Workshop is succeeding, and how Games Workshop is failing, and ooh, look at this classy old lamp succeeding, blah, 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 blah. There's a scandal. Now, the same people who are posting these videos about the Games Workshop Wizards of the Coast scandal posted the exact same video 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. Meanwhile, Roll for Initiative is saying, I'm not going to talk about the same thing anymore. I don't have anything to say. There's no reason to keep doing the channel. And the day I feel I have nothing left to say is the day I'll go, you know what, there's no reason for me to do this anymore. I've got nothing to say. But today I've got a lot to say. So, the Warhammer Games Workshop versus Hasbro Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons scandal in 2 words. Well, 3 words. There is none. Warhammer Games Workshop is based in Europe. Europe is a separate place than America. Warhammer Games Workshop has a different target audience than Wizards of the Coast. Games Workshop is the sole proprietor of everything Games Workshop does. Wizards of the Coast is one part of the Hasbro pizza, and a part that Hasbro really doesn't care about. But let's face it, Hasbro really doesn't seem to care about any of their IPs, except for our goddess Peppa, of course. So there is no scandal because it's 2 different audiences. What is Games Workshop doing that Wizards should be doing? Nothing. 2 completely different markets. Unless you're going to start making figures and miniature war games, you have nothing. You're complete 2 different entities. You don't even compete for floor space anymore. Games Workshop has more floor space than Wizards of the Coast does. Let's face it. Right? I don't see any Wizards of the Coast stuff at Barnes & Noble, but I see Games Workshop stuff at Barnes & Noble. And for every positive thing video number 1's going to say about Games Workshop, and every negative thing video number 1's going to say about Games Workshop, video number 2 is going to say the exact same thing in reverse. You know, all the negative stuff about Games Workshop, the art scandals, the creator scandals, the constantly changing the rules, the price gouging. Giant ant, fake metal bird. And you're not going to say anything in your video you didn't already say. You're just basically going to spout off some facts and try and weave it together in a story where they're the bad guys, we're the good guys, or we're the bad guys, they're the good guys. What are they doing different than we need to do? And I'm sure there's a lot of things. Said hi, it isn't, it's based in the UK, United Kingdom's Europe, that other continent where they have history and languages and rain and castles. And I've lost my train of thought. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Beehive. These must be bee-friendly plants or butterfly-friendly plants. Always good to see that we're taking care of our monarchs and our bees. So, you know, I could make videos like that. I could, you know, continue to doing the That's So Wizard, just continuing to put, this is a dead end. That's what you get when you risk going down a street you've never gone down before, right? But I don't want to. I want to take these hot topics that the dungeon tubers are using to continue to promote. I want to take the format and I want to rattle it. I want to squirt it with some positivity. I want to get back to what's important in the hobby: playing stupid games. Does that mean you're not going to do that Snow Wizards anymore? Oh, I'm still going to do it. if they do something worth talking about, but I'm not just going to focus on it. Because I'd rather talk about something positive. I'd rather spread positivity. I'd rather go against the negative clickbaity in the hopes that maybe I make a difference. I don't know. Somebody has to stand up to these tabletop role-playing game dungeon tubing idiots and go, no, stop it. You should be doing better. You're the voice of the industry, and you've chosen to fall into this cookie cutter, and now you're wondering why your video only made 60K views. Free! As opposed to your previous video from a year ago about the exact same subject. Oh no, my channel's dying. Maybe your channel's dying because people are bored. Maybe your channel's dying because the algorithm changed, because the YouTube audience changed, because the way YouTube works, I don't know, changed and will continue to change. This street. So yeah, if you keep doing the exact same thing, you're gonna get stuck in that glut, and your video's not gonna make 60K like it did last year. It may only get 40K views this time. Meanwhile, the rest of us would be happy with 4. I'd be happy with 4 views. 40K views at 0.0002 cents. That's like what? I don't know, money. For those who actually get sponsorships and money, Jeannie D with her calendar. The controversy between Wizards of the Coast and Games Workshop is there is no controversy. They run their business. They have done good things. They have done stupid things. Wizards of the Coast does good things. Wizards of the Coast does stupid things. Wizards of the Coast tends to do more stupid things than good things. But their stupid things tend to incite good things. So let's thank them for Shadow Dark. Let's thank them for Ed Greenwood announcing that he's going back to the Forgotten Realms and doing 4 Forgotten Realms book a year, each about 1 section. I think 3. I don't know if we need 4. But sure, 3 books a year, 4 books a year, about the Dalelands, Mulholland, Thay, yay, my favorite D&D bad guys, Shasunta, you know, all the other places in the realms. That'd be awesome. And then he's already made sure that if, you know, something happens, he's got somebody else who will step in and fill the hole because he has new things to say. If he didn't have new things to say, I would hope Ed would go, I don't have anything new to say, so I'm not going to do it. So hats off. Hats off, Roll for Initiative, for being honest, for taking the step of saying, you know what, I'd rather not say anything than say the same stupid thing I said a year ago. That's not what my audience wants. And that's how I feel the same. I'd rather not say anything than focus on the same negative thing I focused a year ago. I'd rather point out to these people who are complaining and go, stop it. We deserve better. Considering the way the world is right now, we deserve better than you whining because you can't afford your house because your video didn't make 60K. You shouldn't have quit your day job. What did Jeannie do now? You haven't seen her little toy line and her calendar and her whole little NSFW stuff. And I mean, let's face it, Jeannie D is going to go OnlyFans if she hasn't already. I hear her Patreon's pretty racy, so. But anyways, it's not that she's done anything. It's just that she's fallen into a rut. They've all fallen into the rut. It's like I said at the beginning, they all look the same. They all sound the same. They're all using the same format. They're all saying the same topics. They're all editing the same. They're all using the same AI art. They're all clinging like lampreys to whatever the perceived scandal of the week is in the hopes that, fairy / bird feeder / picnic table. That's awesome. Now, will I ever see a day where I get 40K views for a video like this? Let's be honest, no. I won't. I wish. But I won't. But that's not why I do this. I don't do this because I want views. Yes, I do. I don't do this because I want to be sponsored. Yes, I do. I don't do this because I want people to send me free candy. Yes, I do. I do this because I think I have something to say, and I hope there's at least one person out there who appreciates I have something to say. And much like Roll for Initiative, if the day comes where I feel I don't have anything to say, I'm not going to just go over old topics. I'll just sit and do my other stuff until something else comes up. Wild tomatoes for us to talk about. But until then, again, hats off to Roll for Initiative and to each and every one of those dungeon tubers who are complaining because their video only got 60K views. Why don't you share some of those views with us? Why don't you shout out some of the smaller YouTubers, like whoever's watching me right now, like Darkwhiter or Bob Paints Minis, huh? When's the last time you've done that? You don't. So, yeah, I'll be happy with 4K views or even 4 views. But at least I know that I've said, hey, there's other people out there that have something to say. And maybe if you say something nice, you might not get as many views as you did, but you might accomplish more. I don't know, but I would hope. So that's today's walk and talk. If you appreciate the nonsense that comes out of my mouth on these walks, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about this topic ever again, let me know. Remember, this is your channel. I'm just the host. And, if you are in the giving mood, there is a link down below where you can go pick up my stuff on drive-thru for pay what you want. Minimum $4, please, if you can. But you don't have to, because I'm not here to e-beg. I'm just here to spread some love. Oh, where's the love? And take some pictures of silly things. Till next time, see ya.